Do you ever feel like no matter how hard you work, there's just never quite enough money left over at the end of the month? Well, welcome to our explainer of the latest Clips report. We're diving straight into a topic that literally keeps millions of us up at night, specifically how to finally stop living paycheck to paycheck. And the report's core premise is actually incredibly refreshing. You don't need a finance degree to take control of your money. You don't even need a massive salary bump. What you actually need is just a simple, proven framework. So that's exactly what we're going to build today. We're putting together a 30-day checklist for total financial control, and it's something anyone can start within the next 24 hours.
Now, if you're feeling stressed about your finances right now, please know you are absolutely not alone in this. The report highlights a pretty staggering statistic. Nearly 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Let that sink in for a second. 6 out of 10 people. But this massive number tells us something really crucial. Being stuck in this cycle, it's rarely about a lack of intelligence, and surprisingly, it's often not even about a lack of income. It's almost always just a lack of structure. Most of us were never taught a system to manage money, so we kind of just wing it. But starting right now, we are officially done winging it. Okay, so let's look at the game plan. Here is the 30-day actionable checklist we're mapping out. Week 1 is all about assessing your finances. Week 2, we build your budget. Week 3 is cutting and organizing. Week 4 is attacking your debt, and then we'll wrap the whole thing up with some of the best free tools to maintain total control. All right, let's kick things off with Week 1, assess your finances. Before we can build a better financial future, the report urges us to acknowledge exactly why we stay stuck. And spoiler alert, it's rarely about that occasional fancy coffee you buy. It's structural. If you don't have a written budget, you're literally just guessing where your cash goes. Then there's lifestyle inflation. You know how it is. You get a raise, and suddenly you feel like you need a nicer car or a bigger apartment. Plus, without an emergency fund, a simple flat tire or a random medical bill turns into a full-blown crisis. Add in making only minimum payments on debt and having no clear goals, you're essentially driving without a destination. And without a destination, any road feels fine, but it usually leads right back to being broke. So here is your specific Week 1 Quick Wins checklist. First up, calculate your true total monthly take-home pay. Second, list out all your expenses: rent, phone, groceries, the whole shebang. And the real trick here? Actually pull up your last 3 bank statements. It forces you to confront that streaming service you haven't watched since 2022 or those impulse buys you completely forgot about. Finally, based on what you find, identify your top 3 money leaks. It's a simple, eye-opening, and honestly incredibly empowering first step. Moving right along to Week 2, build your budget. Now that we actually know where our money has been going, it's time to build the core system that's going to put you back in the driver's seat. The report highly recommends the 50-30-20 rule. It is the ultimate beginner framework. Basically, 50% of your after-tax income goes to needs. These are absolute non-negotiables: rent, food, utilities, minimum debt payments. Then 30% goes to wants: dining out, entertainment, hobbies, and it's really vital to separate these, right? Buying basic groceries is a need, but dining out is definitely a want. Finally, 20% goes to savings and debt. This covers building that emergency fund, making extra debt payments, and eventually investing. It's just a beautifully balanced framework. And you know what? You can build this entire budget in just 1 hour. Here's how. First, calculate your take-home pay, which you already did in Week 1. Second, list every single expense. Third, assign every dollar a job using that 50-30-20 rule we just talked about. Fourth, find the gaps. You do this by subtracting your total expenses from your total income. If that number is negative, you've got to make some cuts immediately. But if it's positive, that surplus goes straight to savings. Now, here is step 5, and the report flags this as an absolute game changer. Automate everything. Set up automatic transfers on payday so your savings literally leave your checking account before you even see the money. It's called paying yourself first, and it's hands down the most powerful habit in personal finance. So for Week 2, your checklist is all about locking in that automated system. Get your 50-30-20 budget set up, whether that's on paper or in an app. Next, open a separate savings account. Kind of make it a little harder to access so you aren't tempted to dip into it for everyday stuff. And lastly, automate a transfer into that new account, even if it's just $25 a week. Just get that money moving before you have the chance to spend it.
All right, we're halfway there. Welcome to Week 3, cut and organize.
So we've got our system built, but now we have to protect it. Because let's face it, life is absolutely going to throw curveballs at you. The magic number here is $1,000. Before you start aggressively paying off credit cards or student loans, a $1,000 starter emergency fund is an absolute must. Think of it as your financial shock absorber. It's the one buffer that stops normal life emergencies like a broken alternator or a sudden plumbing fix from turning into full-blown disasters that force you to reach for a credit card and completely derail your plan. Now, I know coming up with $1,000 extra out of nowhere sounds incredibly daunting, but the report offers some clever, aggressive hacks to hit that goal as fast as humanly possible. Sell some unused items online, like on Facebook Marketplace or eBay. Cut just one subscription per week until the fund is full. Take every single bonus, tax refund, or birthday check and route it directly into savings. You could even try challenging yourself to a monthly no-spend weekend and transfer whatever you normally would have spent right into that fund. Or just pick up one extra side gig dedicated solely to this goal. Whatever you do, get that buffer in the bank. Here is your actionable Week 3 checklist. First, pull the Band-Aid off and cancel 2 unused subscriptions. You can do it. Second, try meal prepping for the week to instantly slash those food costs. And third, list out all of your debts from the smallest balance to the largest. This is going to set us up perfectly for our final move.
And that brings us to Week 4, attack your debt.
This is the final and honestly the most empowering phase of your 30-day journey. Debt is the anchor keeping most of us stuck in the cycle. But now, with a budget and a $1,000 shield, we're going on the offense. The report highlights 2 proven methods to systematically eliminate debt. First up is the Snowball method. Here, you pay the minimum on everything, but throw every extra dollar at your smallest balance first. Once it's gone, you roll that payment into the next smallest. It creates these incredibly fast, psychological quick wins that keep you super motivated. The alternative is the Avalanche method. This one targets the highest interest rate first. Mathematically speaking, this saves you more money over time, making it a great option if you're highly disciplined. Basically, just choose the one that fits your personality best and attack.
Your final checklist for Week 4. Make your very first extra debt payment using whichever method you just chose. Then, sit back and review what worked over the last 30 days. Finally, adjust your budget for the next month based on what you learned. Really take a moment to celebrate this too. You've literally built a functional financial system from scratch, and you're actively taking back control.
Let's wrap things up with some tools for total financial control.
I want to assure you of something vital from the report. You really do not need to spend money to manage your money. There are free tools out there that'll help you execute your new system effortlessly every single month. Mint is fantastic for automatically tracking all your accounts. If you're a beginner looking for zero-based budgeting, the free basic plan of Every Dollar is awesome. If you're someone who wants full, customizable manual control, honestly, you can't beat Google Sheets. Good Budget is perfect if you like the digital envelope method. And Pocket Guard is excellent for quickly seeing exactly how much money is actually safe to spend right now. Just pick the one that makes sense for how your brain works.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a quote from the CLIPS report that just perfectly sums up this whole journey. Money is not a talent, it is a skill, and skills can be learned. You really don't need to be a math genius, you just need a system. The simple act of writing down your income today puts you ahead of the pack. The power to break that paycheck-to-paycheck cycle is entirely in your hands, starting right now. So, what's your first step going to be?